1802 in what is now called the Western area. But the first modern population census to cover the whole country was conducted in April of 1963. Since then, 4 more censuses have been undertaken in December 1974, December 1985, December 2004, and December 2015, respectively. The 2004 census collected information on many demographic and socioeconomic characteristics and recorded a total population of 4,976,871 persons, with a sex ratio of 94. Its preliminary report was published in February of 2005, and the analytical report finalized in July 2006. Now, following the decennial census program, the next census was expected in December of 2014. However, following the spread of the Ebola epidemic from Guinea and Liberia to Sierra Leone, with the first case recorded in May 2014 in Leone district, a recommendation was made by Statistics Sierra Leone to the government of Sierra Leone that the main field enumeration should be shifted from December of 2014 to April 2015. But as the epidemic intensified, it was further postponed to December 2015. The government of Sierra Leone accepted and announced both postponements. The population of Sierra Leone has grown from 2,180,355 in 1963 to 2,735,159 in 1974, then 4,976,871 in 2004, and 7,092,113 in 2015, to now the size of the population of Sierra Leone, according to the 2021 census, is 7,548,702, comprising 3,727,747 males, which is equivalent to 49.4% of the population, and 3,820,955 females, which is equivalent to 50.6% of the total population, showing that there are more females than males in the country. Now, according to the most recent census data, that the most populous region in the country has shifted for the first time in the country's history, with a controversial 2021 results identifying Kenema district as the most populous, replacing the historical dominant Western area urban Freetown. Now, for decades following the first modern census, the Western area, particularly the capital Freetown, was the most populated, driven by urban migration. The 2015 census reported 7,092,113 people, showing strong population concentrations in the Western area, urban and surrounding areas. The 2021 midterm population and housing census controversially indicated a significant shift, showing Kenema district as the highest populated district, contrary to previous urban-centric trends, largely also due to the contribution of the main opposition, the All People's Congress APC party leadership, instructing their members and supporters to abstain from participating in the process, asking them, in fact, to refuse to be counted. That led to, in some areas, census enumerators who were chased out of the communities and barred from embarking on the counting process. The results of the 2021-2022 census have faced, as highlighted in an article from the Sierra Leone Telegraph, a debate regarding the dramatic shift in numbers from Western area to Eastern regions. Statistics Sierra Leone has reiterated that the census data they collect and put out is not exclusively for the conduct of elections, but to inform overall development of the nation by the distribution of resources. Now, though the census data by Statistics Sierra Leone is not exclusively for the conduct of elections, the data does have multi-purpose, which also includes the conduct of elections. Tonight, this conversation is completely beyond the political rhetoric. It is about gauging the level of preparedness of the very institution already set up by the state and paid by taxpayers' money to do the counting. Statistics Sierra Leone. The institution is expected to ensure that accurate data is acquired ahead of 2028 elections and for developmental purposes and equity in the distribution of state resources. The key aspects of tripartite recommendations regarding previous midterm census irregularities recommended legal reforms to ensure only decennial census data dictates electoral boundaries and that census results should be finalized at least 24 months before a general election. These changes are part of 80 recommendations meant to address political disputes surrounding the 2023 elections and guide future electoral processes. The Institute for Security Studies, in their article, Sierra Leone Risk Another Disputed Elections Without Reforms, published on 17th December 2025, states that following the previous boycotts and disputes over past midterm data, the tripartite recommendations on census aim at restoring confidence in the electoral process, although full implementation is still pending. But during the launching of this current census exercise, President Bio encouraged citizens to make themselves available in the entire counting exercise and to trust the entire process. Tonight, we ask the following questions as key pointers to the conversation. How transparent is Statistics Sierra Leone in conducting the 2026 census, especially to ensure public trust in the process? What method of public education are they using to keep the public up to speed with the process? Are we working towards a credible census process in line with the electoral reforms in the tripartite recommendations? And does the main opposition, APC, the ruling SLPP, and other political parties trust the process so far? What should be done or is being done differently in ensuring that the previous doubts and allegations relating to inaccurate census data in 2021 do not reoccur ahead of 2028 elections? I am Phoebian Sweel, and this is AYV on Sunday.
AYV on Sunday.
Hello and welcome. Please allow us to take you on an everlasting journey of hard-hitting journalism. No spin, no filter, just the truth.
On AYV on Sunday, we ask the questions that many are afraid to ask and to test the level of sincerity and integrity of the people who have the power to shape our world.
From the bureaucratically minded corridors of power and the seat of the president,
to the deafening voices of the people that actually matter.
What you should know is that ours are not just mere conversations.
They are accountability personified, live, unfiltered, and in your face.
A live audience of 10 persons will also be included in each edition of the program on first come, first included basis.
Hello and welcome. I am Phoebian Sweel.
And I am Victor Jones.
And this is AYV on Sunday. AYV on Sunday.
Hello and welcome. Please allow us to take you on an everlasting journey of hard-hitting journalism. No spin, no filter, just the truth.
On AYV on Sunday, we ask the questions that many are afraid to ask, and to test the level of sincerity and integrity of the people who have the power to shape our world.
From the bureaucratically minded corridors of power and the seats of the president,
To the
I am Phoebe Swale, and this is AYV on Sunday. Now, Section 10, Subsection 1 on the Statistics Act of 2002 states that the object for which Statistics Sierra Leone is established is to serve as the central authority for the collection, processing, analysis, and dissemination of accurate, clear, relevant, timely, and high-quality statistical information on social, demographic, economic, and financial activities to serve the needs of users, including government and the general public. Subsection 2 of the same Section 10 states that, without prejudice to the generality of Subsection 1, it shall be the responsibility of Statistics Sierra Leone to supervise and manage a national population census to be conducted every 10 years or at such shorter interval as may be determined by the President. Review and approve all definitions and classification schemes employed in statistical work with particular reference to issues of labor statistics, gender, disability, regional and similar socio-economic issues in accordance with appropriate national and international standards and classifications. Now, the aforesaid section also states that the institution is also mandated to ensure that there is efficient and comprehensive collection, processing, analysis, documentation, and storage of statistical information throughout Sierra Leone, compile, report, and document statistical data, as well as maintain libraries or archives of statistical publications and make them accessible to the public. Tonight, we ask the following questions. Is Statistics Sierra Leone currently trusted as the central authority for the collection, processing, analysis, and dissemination of accurate, clear, relevant, timely, and high-quality statistical information? Is the institution currently independent in executing its mandate? Are there prospects of a credible counting process ahead of 2028 elections? What are the steps already taken by other political parties in ensuring that everyone is counted ahead of elections in 2028, unlike the 2021 census? Why should the main opposition always have concerns regarding the credibility of census data? Thank you very much for joining me this evening on AYV on Sunday. I am Phoebe Swale. You're watching us on our local channel 33, international channel 399 on DSTV, and listening to us on radio on 101.7 FM. On the panel this evening, I am joined by Lamgana A. Jallo. He's a governance and policy analyst and advocate from the United States. I have lawyer Abdul Karim Kamara, a member of the Publicity Secretariat, All People's Congress. We're expecting to have Moses Mambu, the Publicity Secretary of the Sierra Leone People's Party, online via Zoom, and would also have Solomon Sundu, civil society activist, online via Zoom. We were supposed to have Abdullahi Salia Brahima, who's the Director, Censuses, Geographic Information System, and the National Census Coordinator from Statistics Sierra Leone. But Statistics Sierra Leone declined a few hours ago today on the grounds that the institution cannot have such a discussion and share the studio with political party representatives. They would rather be alone in the studio to have the conversation. Nothing spoils, however, the conversation will hold. Viewers and listeners, I encourage you to be a part of the conversation. All you have to do is utilize the comment section of our Facebook page, AYV News, or the comment section of our YouTube channel, AYV Media Empire. At some point, we'll factor in your submissions in the conversation. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Thank you, Vivian.
Solomon and Moses, are you there with us on Zoom?
Yes, I'm here.
Right. It's good to have you join us online. I would start with
Yes, I'm here.
the civil society representatives. Let's talk about statistics, the work of Statistics Sierra Leone. They've reiterated as often as they can that what they do, the census, is not exclusively for elections. The data is meant to inform developmental agenda across the country. But the argument has been, though it's not exclusively for elections, the data does have multi-purpose, and the conduct of elections is one of its purposes. What do you think about this current situation with statistics sort of like cautioning everyone to say the attention shouldn't just be on elections, data for elections?
Thank you again, Fabian Swale. I wish he were around, Bremer would have been around for us to have this discussion in person. In as much as he's not around, I'll just state this way clearly that firstly, a state can never run on its own self without a proper, credible, and a more institutionalized, how can I put it, statistics institution, like what we have right now in Sierra Leone. So if Statistics Sierra Leone are trying to say that our country, we don't just have to rely primarily, and the primordial focus of statistics is not about elections, we have to recall on what happened in the midterm elections of 2021. In developing countries, especially countries like ours, underdeveloped countries like ours, statistics, it's the backbone, the bedrock on which every modern democracy stands on. If we have a statistic institution that is not actually out there to give what the people want to know, like transparency in data collection, give raw data to the public for us to see it. Not only you just give data there, you have to give the raw data, we have to analyze it, and you have to be transparent. Believe you me, we're going to have what happened in the midterm elections, in the midterm census. We're going to have a reflective of that in the same 2026 one. So if Statistics Sierra Leone are saying that we just don't need to focus primarily on election processes, on the statistics that are going to give to the country, I don't think that's an argument we have to rely on. Because for Sierra Leone, we all know how election activities are being conducted in this country. It's not based on policy, it's based on ethno-regional balance. It's more like a census. So if we have statistics that conduct census, they have to give it that particular holistic view that what we are going to do is going to be mostly for the development of the country. And the development of the country, it's whilst around electionary processes. And the electionary processes there, what is the bane to us, that the thrust, everything about it, whilst around statistics, the census. So that's why if we take a look at the 2015 census that was conducted during the past government, the past regime, the APC, we have one province came out. We have about 4 provinces: Northern Province, Southern Province, the Eastern Province, and we have the Western area, where you have Western and rural and urban. And now we are having Northwestern region that has to do with now 2 additional districts, one in Falaba and another one in Karina. And I'm seeing that a lot of people are now saying that because we had, prior to that particular 2015 census that was conducted, a lot of people are saying that we're going to have 2 districts that are going to be mapped out from the north or the northwest. Right now we have the northwest. Now we are going to have another 2 districts that are going to come out from the southeast. So they are calling
but
it like,
all this is still happening without the most recent census, which would be 2026 census.
And we've already...
So the question now has been, how are they going to arrive at making those decisions, the conclusions to do all that when we don't have 2026 census, which was to happen last year, but due to advice from international community that the team wasn't ready to do it, it had been postponed to this year. But there are still plans to do all of these demarcations in the absence of the data.
We have to look at again, we've seen political stakeholders saying that they're going to have...
Would this be blind mapping?
It's not all, I will not say blind mapping per se. It's like something like it's already projected. This is a projection that this is what we're going to get. Like have 2 districts from the southeast, because we had 2 districts when they conducted the last census in 2015, not this one in 2021. So we got Karina and Falaba. So we need Panguma and Badajuma. So if censuses in this country are just going to be like a manipulation for electionary manipulations, I don't think citizens are going to have that trust. And the legality on it also will just be that flexible without having the bone of trust on it. So my bet on this is that for us to have a transparent electionary process, first of all, we have to look at detailed methodologies that are not publicly explained by now, but they have to be explained going forward, because I've searched the internet and I've gone to some places to read some articles. I'm yet to see how are they going to do the methodology that will lead to the result that they're going to produce in this coming 2026 census. And then the other thing is disaggregated data is not released. We've not yet got the disaggregated data, and we need that. For us to have a very tangible, reliable, and a more succinct and verifiable result from statistics, we have to have the data. Not only the data, but the raw data be given to civil society, political stakeholders, academics, and even citizens that want to do research on them. And then the other thing is independent verification always becomes difficult. Believe you me, we are not going forward with anything so far in transparency as it should be in international best practices. And the other one is observers cannot trace how final figures were aggregated. If we continue on that, saying that, statistics Sierra Leone should only concern about mapping of districts, cities, towns, villages, look at gender, look at where areas on the development are taking place, what we can do as a country, what we can do as a government. We have to look at it on a holistic pace that everything that has to do with statistics has to do with the elections. And
Great.
We don't want a reflective of it to happen again to us as we have in the 2023 elections.
But you agree with Statistics Sierra Leone that the data is not exclusively for elections?
Yeah, I agree partly.
Multi-purpose.
I agree partly because it's not, because it has to do with development programs, electionary, like parliamentary seats, like allocations. And we have to look at also how to allocate resources for healthcare, education, so on and so forth. But the primordial focus on this, especially in developing countries like ours in Sierra Leone, the most important thing about Statistics Sierra Leone is elections. And going forward, we just had what happened in Ghana. Transparently, when they did everything transparently, everybody was engaged, civil society activists, journalists, the opposition, all political parties were engaged. We had a very, very, very transparent census there. But what we had in 2021 leading to 2023 is just a reflection of that particular census to the election that we had in 2023. So if we are having this sneaky, secret type of census going on presently, it's like we're just building a premise or steps towards another tripartite gathering after the 2028 elections.
Great. Well, I'll come right back to you. Let's go back on Zoom. We have Alphonse Osbani. I'm so sorry I introduced you earlier as Solomon Sundu. We have Alphonse Osbani with us. He is on Zoom. Alphonse, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good evening.
You are a civil society activist. Now, I'll take you to two-step flow theory, which was developed in the 1940s. This was just after the US presidential elections, and it's telling us that information flows from, the main source to sort of opinion leaders before it gets to the masses. You are a civil society activist. Tell us, how much do you know about the census process, the 2026 census, and the activities of Statistics Sierra Leone currently? Even as a civil society activist, how much do you know about the process currently?
Thank you very much. It's unfortunate that from your intro, I'm made to aware that the representative from Statistics Sierra Leone refused to participate in the program, suggesting that he wants to discuss the issue of statistics independently, devoid of the participation of political parties, particularly the SLPP and the APC. That's unfortunate. The second aspect is in relation to your question. As we speak, I don't know much of the current activities of Statistics Sierra Leone. And for some of us, and as an institution, we have been following Statistics Sierra Leone way back since the 2015 census, the 2021 midterm census, and we have been engaging them. It's unfortunate that where Statistics Sierra Leone started, we don't know to what extent they engage civil society. Some of us are not aware, and if some of our colleagues are fully aware, then we could understand the situation in many times that some state institutions do select or identify civil society institutions that they believe can play the tune or can dance to the tune of governments, or those that they think they always play the side of government. And so I will not be surprised if some of the critical institutions, particularly civil society institutions, are not fully aware and involved of the current activity of Statistics Sierra Leone. And so it's going to be challenging, because if these institutions that have the responsibility of interfacing between state institutions and the community are not fully aware, then I'm afraid what will be the rate at which the ordinary person in that community is also will be able to get the knowledge and understanding of the conduct and operation of Statistics Sierra Leone in relation to the current census. So in short, I'm not aware. Probably it's because I'm out of free time, but beside that, I should have received some of the information from my colleagues and staff on social media. That's the Statistics Sierra Leone have started their activities. It's only on radio. People, I heard it on news that Statistics have started their activities, and one time on a program organized by AYV, when they talk about Statistics Sierra Leone. But to me, in this context, it's really unfortunate, because this should have been the appropriate time for Statistics Sierra Leone to reach out to the people of this country. And they should not be talking to APC and SLPP. They should be seen talking to the people of this country. So boycotting this particular discussion, today's program, with the pretext that they don't want to be in the studio with politicians like SLPP and APC, it's unfortunate and it's misleading.
We would come right back to you. I just want to gauge how much knowledge the other people here have of the current statistics activities. Lamna, do you have any idea on the activities of Statistics Sierra Leone currently?
I have no idea, because even when I came, I was asking, have they started doing the mapping? And because I engaged with one person and say that they are presently doing the mapping. So the mapping is ongoing. And I had to engage like one or two communities, one in Godrich and another one in Wellington. And I was told that they've never seen anybody. And what I'm seeing is that like Statistics Sierra Leone, they are like playing the whole process like a court, like a secret society. It's like doing it in that very mild way without telling the people what is going on. And then they will just come up with the data and give a result, which I believe will create more chaos than what we had in 2021. So there is no idea about what is going on right now.
Moses,
categorically clear.
We now have Moses Mambo with us in the studio. Moses, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
How much knowledge does the SLPP have about the ongoing activities of Statistics Sierra Leone's regarding the 2026 census? What do you know as a political party?
Thank you very much for having the SLPP in the studio. Good evening to you, my colleagues. Yes, the SLPP know a lot about what is going on with the current census process in Sierra Leone. The SLPP and other political parties, especially the APC, we are part of the coordination committee. Census have, the 2026 census have two main bodies right now. Body number one is the technical committee, comprising of the donors, UNFPA, and other technical players, the consultants who are putting together all of the applications that they'll be using, the mapping, the technology that they'll be using for the census in 2026. So that is at the technical level. At the coordination level, we have another committee that's called the Coordination Committee, which is made up of policymakers. That is Statistics Sierra Leone, the political parties. That is where we engage. So informations from the technical committee feed down to the Coordination Committee. In the Coordination Committee is where we take major decisions. For example, when the cartographic mapping was about to start, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, when phase 1 was about to start, they convened a coordination meeting where SLPP was there, APC was there, civil society was there, because I had my former colleague, Alfonso's Bani, saying they are not aware. In the coordination committee, civil society is part of it. I don't know the mechanisms on which civil society, but I know, civil society is interested.
Because I was going to check with you.
Yes, so
which representatives do they have in
that's
that
what I'm talking about.
Civil society?
Civil society is segmented. You have some that are working on statistics, data. So I think those were the ones that, but I saw civil society representatives in the coordination committee.
Oh, you saw civil society representatives?
Yes, in the coordination committee.
You saw them?
Yeah, I saw them.
Who are those people from civil society?
I can't tell right now.
But you said you saw them.
Yeah,
so if you saw them, you should be able to remember, especially given, your background that you're coming from civil society. Okay, you should be able to remember your colleagues.
The civil societies as I saw were not those I'm familiar with in the past. As I said, civil society is segmented because my work in the past have not been related to work statistics.
But you're certain that you saw them?
But I'm certain that I saw civil society.
But you just cannot tell us who you saw?
Yeah, from top of my head. I saw civil society, SLPP, of course, were there. APC were there. In fact, the last time, APC have a national coordinator for census, who is the Balogu, Honorable Balogu. Balogu Logus Kuruma is the census coordinator for the APC. He's there. In our last meeting for the second phase of the cartographic mapping were there.
So let me come back. Balogun being part of it, but you don't remember the civil society people that you saw that are a part of it.
Okay, so let me give you the context. Balogu is my opponent. He's APC and SLPP. Everybody in SLPP, APC knows about them. Everybody in APC, we know about them. I live and sleep, I know them individually. But where I'm coming from, the civil society space, where I was working within the civil society space, have nothing to do with statistical work. So, and sometimes civil society, because they are segmented, they are those that focus mainly on those jobs. Okay, so if you talk about service delivery, I will tell you all the civil society that operates within service delivery. I know. There are some in human rights I will not know. There are some in governance, so that's how segmented they are. But let me come back to the question you asked regarding SLPP. Yes, when the census process started, even up to the point where they said because of financial and other technical constraints, the census will not hold in 2025, it will hold in 2026. We were part of the coordination meeting. A presentation was done by the consultant who came from Nigeria. She did a whole lot of presentation with regard to preparedness, the EAs, the mapping, where mapping have done, and then laying the foundation for the pretest, for the pretest of the census. Okay, so all of those SLPP have been involved into it. When it comes to the cartographic mapping, before the start of the cartographic mapping, in our coordination meeting where SLPP is well represented and that of APC, we are informed about the processes of the cartographic mapping from phase 1. You understand? How are they going to do it? The community mapping, the district mapping, regional mapping, all of those informations were provided in the coordination meeting. And for us at SLPP, when cartographic mapping started, We have the census committee in the SLPP, for which I'm the communication person for the census committee within the SLPP. What have we done? In 2025, the SLPP put together the national...
No, we'll come to what the political parties have done. Right now, what we're trying to understand is how much knowledge all of you who sit here representing, you know, the public to a large extent know about the current process. So let's talk about the information that the SLPP does have about the current activities of Statistics Sierra Leone. From what you know, what is Statistics Sierra Leone currently doing concerning the 2026 census? At what stage is Statistics Sierra Leone?
So from my knowledge so far, Statistics Sierra Leone Statistics Sierra Leone have been doing a lot of work, of which to a large extent we have been involved in some of those work. For example, they have been doing the cartographic mapping, which have almost been completed, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Which
what does phase 1, 2, and 3 entail? That is, if you have any knowledge of that, please.
So when you talk about phase 1, in terms of the cartographic mapping, is they have the geography mapping of the entire country. Is how they segment them, because they cannot do cartographic mapping in the whole country one day. So what they do, they segment the country based on their own mathematics, based on their own data that they have. The country is segmented into 3 phases. So they will do phase 1, for example, to say, okay, we are targeting the western area, the 2 western areas in phase 1, and some parts of the north. Phase 2, we are targeting this aspect of the country. In phase 3, we are looking at the data, that the mapping, the way it was done. How was it done? What were the challenges? We're going back to clean up the data, and we're going back to do that. So phase 3 is
sort of reviewing phase 1 and 2 data.
It's about reviewing phase 1 and phase 2.
And you said they are at phase 3 now?
Yes.
You said they are at phase 3?
Yes, based on my information.
Any idea when phase 1 and 2 was done? At what point did they do phase 1 and 2?
Phase 1 and 2 started way in January 2025. So phase one started in January 2025. It ended around March in 2025. Phase 2 started around April in 2025, ended around July to August 2025. So towards the end of 2025 and early this 2026, they are now in phase 3 from the information we have at the SLPP. That is one aspect.
What were they supposed to be doing in phase 1 and 2? Phase 1 and 2, what were they supposed to be doing? Again, I ask you guys because Statistics chose not to attend our program because we have the APC and the SLPP in the studio. They would not want to be part of a conversation that would also involve you being in the studio. And you both, as the 2 leading political parties in the country, sit at strategic positions with Statistics Sierra Leone, understanding the process. So in the absence of Statistics Sierra Leone, we're trying to know as much as we can through you who are privileged to sit with them and understand some of these processes. What did it involve from the public perspective? Did it involve that they would go to the houses and ask questions about what did it involve?
So in statistics, when they say mapping, it's about putting into category within context the houses, the household, and marking them. You know, before the census starts, Statistics Sierra Leone have to do cartographic mapping. That's to look at the entire country, make sure you mark each and every house in the country so you know them.
So just the houses, not the number of people living in the houses?
No, the number of people living in the houses will be done on the day. What they have done is to do the mapping, to give them an idea about how many house, physical building, you understand, and all the other embodiments within those structures they will be dealing with on the day of census of itself. You understand? Secondly, they have also done apart from that, they have also done testing. They have also done a pre-census testing across communities that have been done. For example, they took Western area, Bombali, I think Pujeon and Bont districts. Most of the districts that are hard to reach, they have done in. Those things were done within the context of the coordination committee, of which the SLPP, the APC, civil society, and other groups backed up with Statistics Sierra Leone to make sure we build credibility within the census process. So when you say with regards to the mapping, they are at phase 3 as we speak, based on information we have currently.
All right, thank you very much. Let's come to AKK. From the APC's perspective, how much do you know about the process? Do you know the things that the SLPP just shared that they know, or do you have a different information on the statistics, Sierra Leone activities for 2026 census?
To answer your question straightforward, thankfully this is a well followed program, and everything we're going to say here is going to be documented, and we'll take it up with statistics. From the APC point of view, for which I belong to the statistics committee in the APC, all what my brother have said here is completely new to us, and we'll pick it up with statistics.
How is that so?
Yes, it's completely new to us. This information he has shared is completely new to us. That statistics is now currently on the 3rd phase.
Why is it new when the APC and the SLPP are members of the coordinating committee he spoke about?
Well, fortunately, let me just help him that the APC is not in a coordination committee. We are not. And I'll put him to strict proof. I don't know. That is why I said all what he has said here is completely new to us. The APC belongs to what is called an advisory committee, which is completely different from a coordinating committee. He has said the APC belongs to a coordinating committee. I don't know that. I know of Peter Bangura, who is representing the APC in the advisory committee, because I know of statistics having the technical committee and the advisory committee, but I don't know of anything called the coordinating committee.
He mentioned Balogun.
Well, I don't know. Logos does not belong to any committee there. I can recall myself and Logos and Kelfarama and others have been attending some briefings at Brookfield Hotel, for which he and myself attended 1 or twice. We attended those programs. We are just called to attend those meetings because they came to brief us, although that briefing was very haphazard. And for some of this information he has now given to the public, we are going to pick it up with statistics, that why is this information being a secret, and that why is it that it's only the SLPP that knows this and the APC has no clue about it. But what I want to address very seriously is the fact that the issue of transparency, it's not really a matter of like we are asking statistics like the issue of transparency can be optional. It should not be a matter of being optional. It's a requirement that statistics in its dealing has to be very transparent, because at the end of the day, the end result is going to be owned by Sierra Leoneans. And hence, that is the condition. Trust must be built. So any amount of mistrust is likely going to render the entire activity in futility. So therefore, the issue of transparency is not optional, it's a requirement. So for us, what exactly my brother have said to the public today is new. And I repeat, the APC is not in a coordinating committee. The APC only, I repeat, belongs to or is a member to this particular all-important program in the advisory committee. That's where we are.
How powerful is the advisory committee? Or let me rephrase that. What is the role of the advisory committee?
The advisory committee is like the highest decision-making of the entire program, Statistics Sierra Leone. But however, they are like the end product, wherein all technical and other analysis by the technical experts have given and made their own inputs. They only bring it now to the advisory committee to say, this is what the experts have advised. Now for the attention of the advisory committee, this is exactly what statistics want to roll out. And this is exactly where the APC has its very, very difficult with them. That, hey, wait, we want to be partners in the technical committee, because this is where the huge chunk of work is done. This is where we'll profile solutions. This is where we'll tell you that this is what is expected to be done. This is how we go about it. This is how the matrix should look like. This is if we embark on doing A, B, and Z, this is how the expected outcome will look like. But the APC is completely omitted from the technical committee. But rather, we are co-opted in the advisory committee, wherein I say the advisory committee, according to the organogram of the entire statistics committee, it's the topmost committee, wherein you are only there to provide an oversight, wherein they come to give you that this is exactly what we have done. We don't just want to zero it and sign it as a working document without your attention. But there's very little you can do at the advisory committee to influencing decisions that are already been taken by the technical committee. This is what exactly I want us to zero on. That at the advisory committee, you have very little or no influence to at least change whatever you think at the advisory committee that is not appropriate and cannot yield to the expected outcome. Rather, they will come to say the experts, who are the people who know, who have the know-how, who have advised, this is exactly what they have advised, and they are the experts. They are the technical experts. So for your attention at the advisory committee, we just want to bring it to your attention. So it's like a place where you have very little, nothing to say. And that is more so the reason why the APC is saying no. We want to be part of the technical committee because this is where the work is done. This is where
please, just take a pause there. Mambo, is the SLPP a part of the technical committee?
No.
Sorry. So if the SLPP, which is your, I would say, equivalent, is not a part of the technical committee, how then does the APC want to be a member of the technical committee?
Because
are you advocating for APC and SLPP to be members of the technical committee, or just you?
We are advocating for political parties to be part of the technical committee because this is where the huge chunk of work is done. This is where the expertise, this is where exactly everything about statistics is done. This is where you engage with the experts one-on-one and you give them feedback. Like for instance, the avalanche of information we now have gathered from the first phase of the cartographic mapping. As of today, I am telling you, Phoebe, there is nothing that statistics have shown to the public as to with regards to exactly what is the report, as to what exactly were the positives, what were the challenges, what were exactly the future challenges that they are foreseen, and how will they want to overcome them in the second phase. That was not done. So this can only be achieved if you are in the technical committee.
Phoebe, just to correct that, yes. Because me and him were in a meeting at Bookface Hotel.
I am not.
Where we were briefed on challenges on phase 1 and 2 on the cartographic mapping. In fact, it was in that meeting where the mayor, Ivona Kisoya, stood up and said most of the community she has visited, she has not been seeing the chalk mark of Statistics Sierra Leone in those communities. 1. 2, she also said in that meeting that Statistics Sierra Leone have not been giving them, the APC, the calendar of activity regarding the mapping. The enumerators, where they go, how they map this building. They don't have that information. It was right in that meeting that the presenter from Statistics Sierra Leone, I think is the deputy Statistician General from Statistics Sierra Leone, provided the data they had provided to SLPP, they had provided to APC. In fact, I even showed a video that SLPP, because we have a robust census monitoring and national coordination team within the SLPP, who were able to capture the cartographic mapping in real time. We got the data, we followed up with the enumerators who were mapping the house. We look at a lot of communities around the country. You understand, that we selected to see whether what Statistics Sierra Leone said they did, they were doing it. And in that meeting also,
findings?
You said what?
What were your findings from that?
Some of our findings were, 1, some of the enumerators were not putting on an identified uniform from Statistics Sierra Leone. All of us agreed on that the mappers need to be identified. You need to be on your cap, on your t-shirt, so when you get to a household. The other one was clustering. Household were clustering. How can you mark, for example, when you go to Kube, you will see the way the houses are clustered. How can you know that this is a household or this is a house? How can you segment those? So those were challenges, and that's the time the Nigerian consultant came out and said they have a GPS mapper, that if a cartographic mapper did not go to a community, the GPS will be able to capture and tell them right in the database that this particular mapper have not visited this community. They showed us the graphics, the GPS graphics in real time were there. So just those challenges were taken on board. Even Statistics Sierra Leone in the meeting. Even Statistics Sierra Leone in the meeting.
No, sorry, just a minute. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you on this.
I just wanted to know.
Gentlemen, please, let's maintain mutual respect. I cannot tell you guys how to do your jobs for the publicity team, and I am expecting reciprocity from that. So please, guys, don't tell me how to do my own job. I'll come right back to you so you would respond.
If this is exactly how you intend to anchor the program.
Hold on, I'll come right back to you to respond to that.
Please.
Moses,
yes, so let me learn. In the advisory committee, when I say advisory and it is the Coordination and Advisory Committee. We have two committees, as I said earlier on, the Technical Committee and the Advisory is the highest decision-making body. It is in the Advisory Committee that feed what the Technical Committee is doing. The Technical Committee is made up of the development partners, Statistics Sierra Leone, World Bank, UNFPA, EU, all the development partners, and the IT people that are dealing with the software. So letting political party, for example, in the database of the software, we had several meetings.
So do you agree? So he is saying they are not only seeking for them as a political party, APC, to be members of technical committee. They want other political parties to have representatives. Do you as SLPP share the same perspective? Do you also want access to the technical committee?
In the beginning, we did. But after the presentation from the consultant...
So now you don't want to?
No, after the presentation, in our last advisory committee meeting, when the consultant from Nigeria did her presentation on how disruptive it will be, us being in the data room,
so just
dealing with the entire
do you
country.
Still want to be part of the technical
no,
committee or not?
No, we don't want to be part of the technical committee.
This meeting, you said you saw AKK, he was a part of the meeting.
Yes.
Did you not say that?
Yes.
When and where was this meeting held?
Our last advisory meeting.
It was not an advisory meeting. It was a briefing.
No. Please. We have our advisory committee meeting. Our last advisory committee meeting was at Bookfeast Hotel.
When?
I can't tell you the date. This is about 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay. So that was towards the end of 2025?
Yes, at Bookfeast Hotel.
I just
that
meeting,
meeting,
I'll come right back to you.
No problem.
AKK, do you remember this said meeting he's talking about?
Because
he's saying you particularly as an individual, you were there in the meeting.
I was there indeed, but it was not really an advisory meeting. It was a briefing for which Statistics wanted to kickstart the cartographic mapping for the first phase. And this is exactly why I wanted to just draw to your attention that he has spoken over 15 minutes, and whilst he was talking, he said so many things that were misleading, but I never
correct
interjected.
them if you have different perspectives.
So I want to make this very clear that at the meeting we attended, himself and myself and Logus Kuroma and Dr. Kelfara Mara and Aki Soya, we are Statistics try to call political parties and other development partners to say, hey, we are now going to kickstart the first phase of the cartographic mapping. And this is exactly how we intend to go about it. And in the field, this is exactly what is expected from political parties. This is what we expect you guys to go and do. This is how we expect you to participate. This is how we want you to see how best you can accommodate our field enumerators and A, B, and Z. And among so many of our deliberations, what stand out very tall was the uneven distribution of teams. We came to the realization that a whole region, as my brother was alluding, that after the 2015 population and housing census, there comes in the emergence of 2 districts, Karine and Falaba, and now a whole region, the northwestern region. It was at this briefing we brought to the attention of Statistics that the pilot census did not capture an entire region, I mean the northwestern region.
Okay.
It wasn't captured. And so there was no testing of questionnaires in that particular region. And so that entire region is left void. So how are you now intending to go and do cartographic mapping for which you have not tested what exactly will be the projected challenges or outcome? No tangible reasons you are given. Now, what was very clear?
What did Statistics say to you in response?
They said it was a random testing. And our argument was, if you have done a random testing for 4 provinces or 4 regions, why did you omit the 5th region? It would have just been, take the south and the northern region for sample testing. But you took the southern region, the eastern region, the western region, and the northern region, and you omitted the northwestern region. So what can you give us convincing? So
I'll come to you, Moses.
Please,
hold on.
Please allow me. I have.
AKK, focus on me. You were saying.
Please. And so these were very challenging issues and turning issues that they cannot provide any sufficient reason for it. Now we went further to testing the questionnaire. How was this questionnaire prepared? What were the tools involved? Because this is a highly technical job. And so we want experts who we can equally profile solutions to, that indeed we have done this thing once. This was exactly the challenges we faced. This is about this is us about going to do it for the second time. If we face these challenges, this is how we intend to profile solutions to ameliorating them or moving forward. They said no. The technical committee has no room for political parties. We are not agitating for only APC. We are saying we want political parties to be represented. And that brings me now to the first question you posed.
That means it leaves only the APC now, because Mambo is saying they wanted earlier as well to be part of technical committee, but now they're no longer interested. So this leaves just the APC, except if there are other political parties towing the line with you that want to be a member of the technical committee.
Phoebe, what can you expect from somebody who is enjoying from the largest of what is happening that is not correct? That is just the position. If the man is feeling comfortable,
nobody is enjoying that.
Please, Mambo, please. I was not interjecting you.
Gentlemen,
Can't you allow me?
Can we please avoid making jibes and let's just,
so focus on the things.
So
enjoying that.
So our position is this. That brings me now back to the first question.
Minus SLPP, do you have any other political party or parties that are in line with you that want to be part of the technical committee? Which ones?
Yes, the Unity Party.
And?
So many other political parties want to become part of this particular.
Which others?
I can name Unity.
Party and
yes, I cannot name others, but I know because this is in the interest of Sierra Leone.
You can name Unity, but you can't name
because
others.
there are those who have come out publicly to showcasing their interest as well, that we want to participate into this all-important process.
So if it's just the APC and Unity Party, it means again you are in the minority.
But Phoebe, this issue of minority, always that people want to anchor on, it is for the good of Sierra Leone. Let us understand this reality, and this is why.
But isn't that the type of democracy we're practicing?
Yes. Why I always find it difficult to answer this question. That this democracy we're practicing that signals that yes, the majority carries the day. But equally, the minority is equally a significant pillar in this democracy for all. I may cry out loud for the heavens to hear me out. That indeed, in as much as we are always saying the majority carries the day, but there's a fundamental part to this all-important thing that the dissent of the minority is equally fundamental reality. But this is what I want to anchor home. That in as much as Statistics Sierra Leone says they are not ready to share the table with us, because the issue of statistics is not entirely about party politics or elections. But let me say this, and it is very serious. The census data has political consequences, and fundamentally and principally, it is those data that they are going to develop that is going to inform decision makers. That is going to equally make sure that these decision makers have to evenly distribute national resources. It has to determine how we are going to elect our political representatives, i.e. at council, at parliament, at the cities, at different areas. So you cannot say because this data you are going to have at the end of the day is not only going to be meant for political purposes, but however, you have to be very mindful of the fact that it has a germane reason that it borders on political decision makers, because it informs exactly how policy formulators and how policy makers and how decision makers can allocate resources. So now the APC is saying, we are not asking that we are here to criticize exactly Statistics Sierra Leone. But what we are saying, the APC believes that the census is a national responsibility and cannot have anything to do with partisan politics. And so, that is more so the reason the APC was so magnanimous enough to establish what we call a census technical committee. Now, Phoebe, what the APC did, that we want to showcase that indeed our willingness, as opposed to the midterm census that was driven by fictitious data and for which the APC denied participating into, because it hadn't got the legal efficacy of the law.
Do you agree that you contributed to whatever irregularities that we had with the 2021 census allegedly by the simple act of you telling your members and supporters to abstain from participating in the process?
I want to answer this question in the inverse. And I know, Phoebe, I know, so very, very magnanimous. You cannot participate in an unlawful act, except otherwise.
Yeah, but I'm asking now,
so this is why
you also take responsibility?
We will never take responsibility of it, because the APC does not enjoy dealing in unlawful activities.
Do you not think that action contributed to however flawed you claim that data was?
Phoebe,
how can Statistics Sierra Leone completely put the data together if you had told your people to not be counted? And remember, in some areas, some of the enumerators were chased out of certain communities and barred from doing their work. So if you're telling your people to not participate, what magic were you expecting Statistics Sierra Leone to use to effectively and efficiently capture the data across the country?
Phoebe, the technical committee in that then midterm census advised government not to embark into that particular act because, one, they hadn't got the technical expertise, they hadn't got the logistical requirements, they hadn't got the financial support, and so they advised them not to embark on it. And most importantly, it wasn't provided for by law. If you look at our constitution in Sierra Leone, it is provided for in our constitution that we always have what we call a decennial census. There is nowhere in our constitution that provides for a midterm census. So the APC says we will not participate into any act that is unlawful.
Okay. Gentlemen, sorry, I'll come right to you. Alphonsus, are you there? Now, the APC is pointing fingers at Statistics Sierra Leone, saying the 2021 census, the data was flawed. And AKK says they would not agree that they contributed to the problem, but they told their party supporters and members to abstain from the entire process. Do you think that contributed to however flawed the data was allegedly, according to the APC?
Yes, it's really unfortunate that AKK is suggesting the contrary in this regard, and it's really unfortunate. And I'm pretty sure at the time when the issue of the midterm census was being discussed, and today AKK is suggesting that it was an illegal situation or act, that's a little bit misleading. And I'm pretty sure that AKK was fully aware that during that time there was an amendment being presented to Parliament regarding the midterm census. And he knows very well the procedures in ensuring that a law is being passed in Parliament. And that was the basis at which Statistics Sierra Leone used to conduct the midterm census. The issue of illegality, to me personally, that does not arise. I think what we should be discussing here is how could APC as a party use the lessons learned from the 2021 midterm census, the lessons learned from boycotting short opportunity or short participation to strengthen their participation, to strengthen their monitoring activities in this current 2026 planned census. That is what I think AKK should be focusing, or APC as a party. It surprised me to note. That the information Mambu is giving us from the SLPP angle in relation to the current status of Statistics Sierra Leone activities regarding the census or cartographic mapping, that the APC is not informed. To me, it's a surprise and it is shocking. I want to get a better clarification as to being in the advisory committee that he also mentioned that they are receiving briefing. Is he suggesting that all the briefing that they have been receiving from Statistics Sierra Leone with regards to what they are doing or the decision of the technical committee, nothing has been indicated during those briefings in relation to what the activities of Statistics Sierra Leone? If it was done, then I think AKK is making a misleading position or a misleading statement, to the extent that it's misleading the public in this country. And I think it is also but befitting that no political party get themselves involved in the technical committee. This is not a political issue. Statistics census activity is not only for elections. So that does not mean political parties should be in that committee. I think if they are in the advisory committee or same for the discussion, Mambu is bringing it together to say advisory committee, coordination committee is one. It is left with them. We are not part of it. But for the purpose of our discussion, if you are in the advisory committee, you should be you should be at the advantage to know what Statistics Sierra Leone is doing. It's not only advising, but they are bringing to you what they are doing, and you provide an advisory opinion. You cannot advise if you are not being briefed. Well, how do you advise? What have they been advising Statistics Sierra Leone on if they are not being informed of the activities Statistics we are doing? I think my brother there needs to do something. And today we are talking about, he wants to ensure that all political parties are part of the technical committee. That is really unfortunate. We did not see APC and SNPP challenging that they want to see all political parties being part of the Tripartite committee. They call it the so-called Tripartite, I call it so-called Tripartite committee, between, it is just SNPP, APC, and development partners that constitute that. Now they are talking about, they want to see other members in the technical committee. Why didn't you even bring in other political parties in just past concluded Tripartite committee until the time they produce recommendations in relation to election systems and processes? And we know that it was not only SNPP and APC that participated in the 2023 elections. There were a number of other political parties that participated in that particular election, but they were not part of the Tripartite committee. So let us try to look at issues from a broader perspective, and not just suggest as if because you are not part of it, and now you want to use you want to use the other political party as scapegoats to justify your participation in a particular committee. I think that is uncalled for. I want to see how Mambu and AKK, these two guys, the SAPP and APC, could ensure that the people of this country are fully informed about the continuous process of Statistics Sierra Leone in ensuring that people participated, people are aware, people monitor the process, and ensure that whatever the outcome of this current 2026 census will be acceptable to all citizens in this country. The work of statistics is not only for election purposes. It's for everybody. It's for even for education. I don't think even Mambu there or AKK is suggesting that they know even how to plan. They have any data as to how many students are graduating from universities and how are they planning for some of these students to be employed. There are some students that have left university that have graduated 20 years ago. To date, they don't have job. You are here fighting about elections. You don't even plan as to how you create employment facilities for graduating students. And you are here fighting that I'm not part of the technical committee. We want to be there because it has a critical role to play in terms of election. It's a shame and it's a disgrace to both the two parties, SLPP and APC. They have completely destroyed this country. I will not say it. I will say it without reservation. It's disappointing. Some of us fully aware. Some of us are of age now. I have witnessed a number of elections in this country. And way back in 1960, some of us when we were born. Some of you, I think you are young boys at that time. I felt so disappointed when people are just talking about political issue, neglecting the reality the people are facing in this country. What, for God's sake, what has SLPP got to do? What has SLPP APC got to do in the technical committee? What technical expertise do you have? Maintain your coordination, maintain your advisory role, and let the donors and the technical experts be there. You receive your briefing. If you are not comfortable, raise your voice and escalate it to the wider public. You share it with civil society. This is our own position. Then we can take it from there. This is our own position with other people. Share it with the media. But don't just think without your participation, things will not go well. I think SLPP and APC, you need to change the tactics in this country. Let's see. That's why I will keep on saying. Today is really a missed opportunity for Statistics Sierra Leone. The conduct of Statistics Sierra Leone is now suggesting to us that they may be compromising their activities to skew either to support the ruling party or to cover up what they think a number of us can ask publicly. So it's a shame to Statistics Sierra Leone for not participating, It's unfortunate for Statistics Sierra Leone not to come and address the people of this country. It is misleading for Statistics Sierra Leone not to come and respond to technical issues related to the current activities they are undertaking in relation to census in this country.
All right, thank you, Bani. I'll come right back to you. Lamrana, what do you think? This is quite APC saying they want political parties to be represented in the technical committee. Mambu is saying initially as a party they wanted to, but they're no longer interested. AKK said he knows that the APC and Unity, but cannot mention other political parties. Do you think it's a good idea for political parties to be part of the technical committee?
Yeah, like from what Mambu has already said, given all the explanation Mambu has already given, you sense that Mambu is already, that the SLPP is already in the technical committee because they know a lot. You know, you've explained explicitly what has already transferred from phase 1, phase 2 to phase 3. Okay, please. And now we have, I'm coming, Mambu.
No, I need to
agree, if you can just allow...
Please, I need to stop you. SLPP is not part of the technical committee, we are not.
Indirectly.
No, we are not indirectly. We are not.
So
the same information I have, APC has.
Mambu was saying that we are yearning for it. But now, because they've got all the information
they're comfortable.
But he's saying,
that is not true.
Hold on, gentlemen. He's saying, Lamrana,
yes.
Mambu is saying the same access they have is the same that the SLPP.
From what I don't like to interact as he does.
I've listened to them.
It's just because I don't like to interrupt as he does.
I listen to both of them, and if you can listen, you know, from the voice and the intonation as how they are presenting their ideas, both of them, you know that I'm one party.
What do you think is really going on here? It's
something
quite confusing for the people of Sierra Leone.
Something extremely fishy
when the SLPP says, we know, and the APC knows. Hold on, and the APC knows because we all sit in the committee or we've been in meetings together. Then the APC, on the other hand, comes to say, we don't know. The information you have, we don't have it.
Okay.
It leaves the public confused as to who should they really believe? What do you think is going on here?
Okay, let me just borrow again from what Mambu said. He was talking about civil society that we are present. Mambu was a former civil society activist.
Yet he cannot remember the names of people.
He can't remember the names of people that are there. So you know that Mambu actually made up this thing. It's not real. They know, Mambu know. And the SFP know exactly what is going on. Talking about the opposition, the main opposition, which is the APC, like saying they are in the advisory committee, you see the technicalities that is involved in the technical committee. You have international donor partners, you have the statistician that starts Sierra Leone, and then you have this IT specialist. If Mambu knows about these things, knows about this information, and then the opposition doesn't know about this information, so you know that something fishy is going on. But one thing I want to stress on for both parties, SLPP and APC, no political party can actually man and govern this country with the exception of the others. What happened in 2021? Actually, let me just give. I have here the statistic data that was I'm giving for the 2021 midterm census that was conducted. I had from my elder brother there, Mr. Alfonso, who was saying that it's a shame that the APC boycotted the 2021 midterm census. That one, if you look at it critically...
Do you see any contribution that the APC as a political party made to that outcome, that they told their people to abstain from participating in the process?
Looking at the way the whole process was made, it was untimely. It was not on the right time that thing was, the census was conducted. And you are looking at the intention. The intention there was to have just... get names of this thing and then get a PR system. You understand? That was the intention there. And then the opposition looked at it critically and said, oh, if we go into these things, they will just give us a figure that is... I'm going to tell you again, Phoebe, and I'll come here again one day and tell you that the result they are going to give, they are going to produce 2 districts in the southeast. If not 3. 2 districts at least in the southeast. Panguma and Badajuma. And if you look at the world census that is ongoing presently, it's all about how to gain political seats. how to gain. It's not about what we need as a nation, about what looking at the health facilities
and this
in rural
point you're
communities.
making is exactly why
joblessness.
Alfonso is saying
Yeah.
the political parties should not be part of the technical committee because, again, the data that Statistics Sierra Leone would give out is not exclusively for elections processes, although it is also used for elections processes.
And I will tell you that
the APC and the SLPP almost always look at what is in their best interest, what keeps them closer to the seat of powers, not always about what's best for the country.
Yeah, I'll tell you that categorically clear. The primordial focus for census in this country is about elections. Nothing else. It's about elections. How many census we've had in this country? Look at the country today, where Sierra Leone is. Instead of progressing, is either we are wilding in the same vein or in the same place, or actually retrogressing. So the whole process is about how to get political seats, how to gain political popularity through not votes, but actually through gerrymandering. And the whole process that I'm seeing right now is as fishy as the word itself. And if Statistics Sierra Leone do not come out clearly and clean, believe me, I think we're going to have like political tension like we had after the 2023 elections, and then regional distrust. One region will say, because we know how this country has been when it comes to politics, how it's been. We have like the Northwest versus the Southeast, something like that. So election in Sierra Leone is more like a census, an indirect census, than a voting process to elect leaders. People are not going there. 75% of Sierra Leoneans just believe that, oh, now that we come out, now that we did. You understand? So if Statistics Sierra Leone is not going to see that way and make everything transparent, believe me, we're going to have problem. And let me just say what I'm expecting from the phase 1, phase 2. Mambu
it's done already. Mambu said we're
in
phase 3.
So now we are not in phase 3.
Now
in phase 3. And Mambu also said that the mayor of Freetown was even asking the town. Many areas they didn't see chunks.
They don't say identification.
No identification. And Mambo also reiterated on some point that the SFP raised that most of the cartographers, they were not wearing uniforms. You see, and they've already done the phase 1, phase 2. These cartographers were not wearing uniforms, and many of these houses were not marked or identified. That we've already passed the cartography here, and now they've proceeded to phase 3.
And to the best of the APC knowledge, we know we just completed phase 1.
Yeah, let me just come
to the best of the APC's knowledge.
From phase 1 to phase 2, I'll tell you with sincerity from a political point of view. I don't have any political card for now. Possibly I might have, but I don't have anything. This census that is ongoing is just a reflection of 2021. And if we don't make sure as citizens, especially journalists, civil society activists, and political stakeholders to come together and see how we can mitigate what has already been dismantled, the credibility that's already been dismantled in the whole process. Believe me, we're going to have a figgy-fagger, I will use the word figgy-fagger as a linguist, a figgy-fagger election in 2028. It's like a wedding stage. They are just building this block by block so we can just give this amount of people. Like, let me just give you this one. In 2021, what was reduced in some districts. I have it here. For example,
it was the most populated. For the first time in the history of Sierra Leone,
you will see that
there's another part more populated than the capital.
Yeah, let me just give this data here. Bombali districts. You can imagine, Bombali district was reduced to minus 37% in the 2021 elections. Minus 37%. And then the Western area urban minus 46%. Minus 46% from the 2015 population. Sierra Leoneans
in Africa. Is that normal for statistics data?
It will be not unless in developed countries, like in Japan or like fully developed countries where you have like the birth rates that they're declining. You can have that normalcy. But in Africa, we are 70% of Africans are below 30 years of age. So we produce more. For every female, we have at least 2 to 3 child per birth. For every 5 male or 5 couple in the Western world, at least 3 will give birth. In Asia right now, only 2. Two of them will say, no, we don't want to give birth. And 1, possibly they have a problem. But in Africa, where you have, like in Sierra Leone to be precise, 75% of our population is below 30 years. And we are producing children every day.
So you're saying it should not decline.
It should not decline. It should grow. It should increase. So if you have that one, you have minus 46% in the Western urban, and then you have an increment in Kenema of 27%. You can imagine that. And then you have about 32% in Bo, and the most important thing, Bon. A very tiny, Bon is a very big district, but when you look at the population, it's a tiny population, and they increased it to 48.2%. So if you look at that, so that particular mirror is what they are replicating right now in the 2026 census that is going on right now. And it is only Mambu in this studio that knows that we are now in phase 3. And if you ask every Sierra Leonean, go outside there and ask.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that quickly.
Many people don't even know that we
Sorry,
are
Mambu, you said that the SLPP is a member of the coordinating committee as well, right?
It's the advisory committee actually.
How many committees are you a member
It's 2.
of?
We are only one member. There's 2 committees in the census.
Which ones do you have represented?
We have the technical committee and the advisory. You serve at the advisory.
No, I'm asking for the SLPP.
One.
Representation in which committee?
It's the advisory committee. Only. That's where we are.
So how do you know so much about the coordinating committee, the technical committee, and all those? And then suddenly the APC doesn't know about all those, but you as SLPP, you know.
Okay, Phoebe.
It's quite fishy for people to be able to understand this fully.
Phoebe, as journalists,
I think Pambu will be coming for the 3rd time.
No, Phoebe came from you before you went to Bali.
No, I've just spoken once.
Phoebe came from you before she went for Bali.
But this is valid. You're the only ones who don't know. Suddenly the SLPP don't seem to know.
We know.
So we need to understand how.
So let's listen in.
Let's understand how SLPP as a political party knows so much more than your opponent, who you are officially members of the same committees. Yet you know so much about coordinating committee, technical committee, and they don't know.
The coordination committee and the advisory committee is the same thing. It's one committee. Census only operate 2 committees: the technical committee and the advisory coordination committee. So it's 2. The reason why we are having problem with you having information from APC tonight is because the person who have been functional, who have been punctual in attending advisory committee meetings is Balogu.
So you're saying the APC knows, but AKK doesn't know?
No, AKK is limited when it comes to census information.
You see, if I want to interject,
Phoebe, they have said a lot of things that need to clarify.
Hold on, gentlemen.
Yes.
So AKK, is it possible that it is you as an individual who doesn't know, but your party have members that are aware? He said Balogun.
And even Logus Kroma, Honorable Logus Kroma is not a member of that committee. He's talked so much misleading things. Honorable Logus Kroma is not a member of the advisory. I'm saying it publicly. You still hear me, I'm on record. Honorable Logus Kroma is not a member of the advisory committee.
Okay. So
he doesn't even know what he's saying. But I don't like when he's saying things that are misleading. I interject. I allow him to say things so that when my time comes, I can talk. But if I start to talk and I say things, he will interject automatically. I have sat here quietly. He has said so many misleading things. I am on record that Honorable Logus Kroma is the chairman of the census committee. He is not a member of the advisory committee. The person who is a member of the advisory committee is Peter Bangura. So myself and Honorable Logus Kroma are no members of that advisory committee.
But is Peter Bangura aware of the things that Moses is saying that you are aware of as a party?
Abdul Karim seated here happens to be the official spokesperson of the technical committee. And that is most of the reason why anytime that Statistics Sierra Leone is having a briefing, myself, the chairman, and the secretary general attend those meetings.
Wait,
that is why he's here.
You just said something. You said you're the spokesperson
of the committee.
Technical committee.
Yes, so how can he sit here and tell
technical committee of
the
statistics?
Census? No, the census APC technical committee.
Okay, so that's the committee within the APC,
yes,
not Statistics Sierra Leone.
No, and that is the committee within the APC, not within statistics. You are very right. But it is this committee for which our representative, who happens to be the Secretary General, who was one time a very senior member of Statistics Sierra Leone, is now working with Statistics Sierra Leone in the advisory committee. Because the reason is, Logos will have been in the statistics committee, the advisory committee, but he might go there with very little knowledge. So we took somebody who has worked in statistics, who knows exactly the modus operandi. No, please, I am just addressing something that you are misleading here.
About.
So what happens, Phoebe, is this. After every briefing or whatever happens in the advisory committee, Peter comes and sits the committee and informs us holistically. That is why I am being asked here to come and represent the committee, because
so it is
I am knowledgeable.
Peter would know something
that he cannot tell the committee.
Know.
It's not possible.
All right, okay.
It's not possible.
As a media institution, we do have a team across the country in several other parts. So we asked our members in the region to sort of do vox pop, go around and figure out the statistics process so far. Let's join our reporters in the regions and get to know what census is like for Makeni and Bo. Let's join our teams from the region.
Good evening, viewers. I'm Emmanuel Amara Saibu. We are in Bo City to capture the views of residents on the ongoing activities of the 2026 population and housing census, a nationwide exercise aimed at collecting accurate data on the country's population, housing situation and living standards of citizens to promote proper planning and development. In this episode, the residents have this to say.
The car asks if how many rooms we get, if we get water, we get toilet, we get possibly they ride bike, don't forget possibly they use gas na the house.
They ask for me, they ask for my mama name, and they say it now how much they na the house, how many bottles you use. Even in Electoral at the toilet, he says now how much you use that toilet. He said, I say now 4. Now that one I say now mama in the toilet. Now they for write the number and the price. By the house, by the veranda pass.
So the car asks me how many households there are. I talk say I say na 2 households there. But the one household now 1 pot to the eat. The other household the woman will be the owner market. Then they ask me about the kitchen. Then they say if toilet they are I answer say yes, I say toilet there. Then for all the questions I talk to the government, may it help Mama Salo, may help the food side. Then the food side, then the price go down.
Today, we then at a code for access the housing and population census activities.
If we expect for chicken, we see remote chicken couple, we answer it.
No, not see that. Because last before month they may come, they may say they come, but do not see them up to now. So that no more.
So they come for dinner, they do we okay. They're ready for me to do what's them doing okay. Not see the too, but they expect to see them, but not see the
Hey!
Now, so we had to get that done. One area you have people who say the statistics people have been there. But the other end, they've not seen statistics people. Moses mentioned earlier, I intentionally asked, what were the enumerators supposed to do? Were they supposed to be asking questions? He said it's not yet time for questions to be asked. But then we saw some of the people saying they were asked questions.
Yep.
So it's very concerning at this point that certain areas had statistics enumerators coming, other areas didn't have. Some people were asked questions, others weren't asked questions. And the very statistics Sierra Leone set up by law in Sierra Leone, paid by taxpayers' money, chose conveniently not to even be a part of this conversation to answer to the public these questions simply because APC and SLPP are here. Thankfully, the APC SLPP representative has more answers than we thought from the statistics process. But what do you think about this very complex situation that some areas had statistics Sierra Leone people come there, others didn't. Some had questions asked, others didn't.
It's just to tell you exactly what is being planned. It's something, it's, how can I say, it's a dramaturgy altogether. They've already planned this. I wish Mr. Brahma is here, because my plan was to have him around, not to just get the APC and the SLPP around. The whole process of statistics for the 2026, this one that is coming, I think it's already planned. They've already got the data. What we are asking as citizens
that is also not true.
It's very,
but you're sitting here misleading the public,
very, very
and then the journalist is also leading you on.
It's very, very much
true. You're making a very serious
It's very, very true.
How can you say the census is already done?
Let me just come. Okay, let me just come out.
Produce the evidence.
Let me just come out, Mambu.
No, this is dangerous for the content.
Mambu, I'll ask you to please take notes, even if it's in your phone.
I have taken notes in his first one. You did not come back to me.
When it's time to respond,
I have taken notes in his first comment and accusations. You have not got back to me. You went back to him. He still continued to make more accusations.
So the chaos does not help the public to understand anything.
Okay, carry on.
We still have time, and I'll get to come back to
But it's important for him to produce the evidence.
Please take note of what you would want to ask him or respond. You were saying.
And I'll emphasize on this again. Listening to the videos that we just listened, some areas, they have statisticians going there, ask them questions. Others, questions were not asked. And others were even promised, like the old man that was saying, they said they would come after 2 months, and they didn't see them. Now we're in the fourth phase. In the fourth phase, first, we've not yet got detailed methodologies on how this were done. It was not explained publicly to the public. That's one. And then the second one, this aggregated data is not yet released on the first phase and the second phase. And now we are proceeding to the third phase. And then the third one is independent verification has become difficult. For the opposition, the main opposition person here, you've asked him several questions, and he's yet to give us concrete information, like what we've already gotten from Mambu. So you look at all this, you see that it's something that is going on that most of us don't know as citizens. And if you take a walk around Freetown, before coming here, I did my research by asking people. Many of the people I asked, they told me that they've never seen anybody go to their community, not to their houses, to ask about census data, information whatsoever. But if we have this thing going on in the country, so what do you think? Trust will naturally be eroded. So if trust naturally eroded, we'll just have what we had in 2021, midterm census, where data are being cooked and they give us to the country. So should understand that.
I'll come to the representatives on the political parties. Let's go back on Zoom and hear from Alphonsus Bani. Alphonsus, what do you think, what's your feedback from the videos we just played from our teams in the region?
Well, the feedbacks are raising more caution than answers. I think we may use the feedbacks from your reporters in McKinney and in the Southern region as a basis of engaging Statistics Sierra Leone to be more open and a little bit more transparent in the entire process. That's why I said it's really unfortunate that we did not have Statistics Sierra Leone in this discussion. But I believe the information received are creating more confusion. So what we need to do, including AYV and including some of all other people that may be listening to this program, we need to take the task to Statistics Sierra Leone to give us some information. So from our own perspective, from the Human Rights Defenders Network, we may need to inquire from Statistics Sierra Leone to tell us the composition of the advisory committee and the technical committee, and how are they communicating to the advisory committee with regards to the activities of Statistics Sierra Leone. Because we need the people to understand, not only from the APC and SLPP perspective, but we need people to understand from independent perspective that this is the true picture of what is going on behind the scene. Because nobody is aware of the meeting of the outcomes of the meetings of in the advisory committee. Nobody is aware, no citizen is aware of the outcome of the meeting of the technical committee until we engage Statistics Sierra Leone. They give us some information that we cannot have a balanced opinion. Now, with regards to just the quick engagement from your reporters, it's suggesting that there are some areas that the people receive conflicting information. Some are asked, they were asked some questions about their what they are using, they have whatever their names or what the number of households. In other areas, no questions were asked. So what is the strategy? We need to understand from Statistics Sierra Leone what are the responsibility of these numerators when they go out there to the community. Are they going to ask questions? Are they just going to observe, just to check fever? We just need to get those clarifications, or else we may have confusion, and this confusion will translate into distrust, and distrust will create desperation, and when there's desperation, the acceptance of the outcome of statistics activities, particularly in regards to the census, will be questionable. And I don't think we some of us are prepared to go to that extent. So statistics has a responsibility to go an extra mile to ensure that they are not there to boycott SLPP and APC in particular in short forums. They are there to address issues relating to their conduct, their performance, system and processes to the public, to the people of this country. If Statistics Sierra Leone was in this discussion, they are not addressing SLPP, APC. They are speaking directly to the people of this country. So that is why I find it very disturbing at this particular time. So the information you share to us raise more questions than answer with regards to the performance of Statistics Sierra Leone in all this process onto this present stage.
As a member of the civil society space in the country, what advice would you give to Statistics Sierra Leone at this time in terms of conducting a census process that the data would now be acceptable by the public? What would you say to Statistics Sierra Leone? What do you think they need to do to get it right?
What they need to do, they need to develop what we refer to as a strategy plan, and how they engage the communities. They have to engage different stakeholders, and I'm referring particularly, they have to engage they have to have a separate strategic engagement with the media. These are the groups, whether print and electronic media, to ensure that they are able to get the information that can be propagated out there. They also need to engage a wider sector of the civil society. It's unfortunate that my brother Diamambu was not able to identify who are the civil society. I can understand. Even myself, I don't know some civil society that have just emerged, but these are the civil society that governments, the current government also use, because these are new guys and they can just dance with their tune, they can pre-sing, they can talk, they are not critical of government actions. So they can easily just pick them, go and attend short meeting to fulfill the condition that there is civil society participation. But the quality of the participation is a different thing. And so statistics need to open up to ensure that you have a wider engagement with the civil society, traditional leaders, the paramount chiefs, all other district councils, because in this issue, the local government has to play a critical role. If they are not involved, they are not aware, then I think it's a disaster. It's a recipe for a total discontent and a total refusal to accept the outcome of whatever statistics we bring out as their results or as a result of the data collection. So they need to step up their engagement and to come out publicly in informing people, whether on a periodic basis. There are some other institutions that have press briefing, a weekly press briefing. In this context, statistics should be seen as giving more information to the public, and in doing so, they are reducing the doubts. They are reducing the perception that people may have in relation to their systems and processes with regards to the current activities they are doing. So I think the leadership of statistics need to step up and do more.
Thank you, Bani. I'll come to you before we round off. Mambu, you had so many things that Lamrana said that you wanted to respond to.
Not only Lamrana, Bani and all.
Go ahead.
Because it's like AYV give them all the time today, but it's okay, we can understand. Few things I wanted to comment on. You see, it is important when we get to the public to make public statements. It is important that we don't make it baseless. It is important as an analyst. If you said the statistics process is already finished, there is a data, it is important to publish your evidence. That based on this evidence that I have, Statistics Sierra Leone have already completed, and these are the figures. Because what we say here on statistics have the tendency to create chaos in this country. If you don't have an information, seek information, and then you have the knowledge that you are seeking. I am telling you here authoritatively that there are two committees, technical and advisory. In the advisory committee is where all political parties are. And the main political parties that are in
Just
those...
to interject, from our perspective as the media, we tried getting Statistics Sierra Leone, the same invitation to be here today. They chose and, communicate to the public their own side or answer to questions for public education.
I understand that I'm not here on statistics. I'm here to speak on behalf of SLPP and how our involvement have been.
I'm just saying from our
But in line, it pains me when an analyst sits in the studio misleading the public without fact. How can you sit here after millions of dollars is being spent? UNFPA is there, technical committee, EU have hired consultants, foreign consultants, they are working with Statistics Sierra Leone. Most of the cartographic mapping plan, the consultant did it, and they brought those information to us at the advisory committee. The APC is there, the SLPP is sitting right there in those advisory committee meetings where we plan. Phoebe, let me just expose the APC for you on one area so you see, and I have the document. I can forward it to you and I can tell you the APC representatives in the advisory committee, they have it. This is the update on the census. Phoebe, let me tell you this. On July 24 and 25, 2025, before the pilot census was conducted, 2 days retreat that comprises technical committee, the donors, UNFPA, World Bank, all of them, and the advisory committee now. When I say the advisory committee is made up of SLPP, APC, civil society. We were there for 2 days. We had 2 days meeting. What were those meetings for? Number one is to look at how the districts were selected. You understand? For the pilot phase. Now I'm coming to him. Was to look at how districts were selected. Now, the consultants explained in those 2 days workshop clearly how districts were selected for the pilot phase. They said, for example, they selected Bombali because of the population density and the hard-to-reach area. They selected Western area, urban, for obvious reasons because of the population density and the cosmopolitan nature of the geographical location of the area. They selected Kailaun for hard-to-reach areas. They selected Bont for the riverline areas. So they wanted to get a national perspective on the pilot phase that will inform them on what to do better, how to plan better in terms of what the data tools they are using, the networking they are using. How will it play? Because if they use those far to reach areas, what information they'll be able to derive to inform the technical committee of their job. My brother is sitting here now that says one region was left out. 8 APC members were in that workshop. All of them agree with the selected districts that we made. They were in those committees. The cartographic mapping, I've told you here, Phoebe, APC was in the advisory committee meeting. That's why it is important for political parties when sending panelists on programs, on national issues, you send panelists that have a knowledge on the sector, that have been involved in working in that sector. I am giving you these informations because I am painstakingly involved in the census process within the SLPP, and I have been punctual in the advisory committee meetings. The APC only attend the advisory committee meetings when it suits them. The issues that they want to hear and the issues they want to address in those advisory committee meetings is what they will attend, is those meetings. But the SLPP have been representing the party in the advisory committee meeting from its inception to where it is. How can you say the APC was not involved in the pilot census? When I show the video in the advisory committee meeting, the last meeting that we go to the mayor of the city, saying you said, oh, you did not visit, you did not see. But SLPP we saw in Bombali, I was there in Makeni. I was on Misiri Street in Makeni town. I saw the cartographic mappers. I videoed them on Misiri Street. I saw it. How can you say so? It shows the incapacity of the political party to be able to put resources together to be able to facilitate and monitor the census process like any other process. You cannot come to the media and say, oh, we have not been involved, they have not been involved in us, APC is not participating, while you don't have the technical capacity in your own office to be able to participate. The SLPP has 42 members in our technical committee for census. We have triggered our zonal executive, they are involved. Constituency executive, they are involved.
So you think this is a capacity problem?
This is a capacity problem for the APC. And this is what happened. That's why when the experts, if you say you are an analyst, you have to be objective. There's nothing wrong for SLPP to have an information that APC doesn't have. I don't even know the members of the technical committee. SLPP is not involved in what the statistics is doing. And this is the first time when the APC did census in this country. We know what we went through as a political party to access those data. So for us...
Clarification, Mambu. I noticed that you have a file from your phone that you're looking at when you mention some of the data. How does the SLPP get access to this data? How is it sent to you? Is there like a WhatsApp group that has APC, SLPP, the entire advisory committee?
No.
It's sent? Or do you receive it via email? Well, let's understand, how do you receive this documents?
Good. So in every advisory committee, listen, you have advice. So meaning, what you give advice? No, the political parties and the other players, we give advice. It's called advisory committee meeting, right? Advisory committees, document, presentations, power, and at the end of the session, the political parties and that's in the advisory committee, those documents, they give hard copy, they give soft copy, as long as it is not classified. And most times, informations that come to the advisory committee, they are not classified. So information we have access to come to them. They have printed copies.
The copy of the meeting.
We only get the copy of the meeting.
Mass meetings. Are there points and information?
Only interface with statistics. The advisory committee.
All these questions.
We only we only access statistics, Leone, at the advisory committee where we access one is to ensure independence of the state. No question. Layer number 2, we play our political role to ensure it is fair, a process is credible in the interest of the people of Leone. Phoebe, you discussed the 2021 census and the analyst right here claims, but he refused to mention that there was a bill taken to Parliament to approve the midterm census number 1 and number 2 pulled out. He has statistics. He has statistics of the but he has not mentioned as an analyst a whole opposition party who have 42% of the voting population in this country. So there are people not to see. Sometimes I'm coming, sometimes they blow cold.
Are you faulting the APC as contributing factors, their actions being contributing factors to the outcome of the 2021 census?
It's huge. Their action is huge, Phoebe. Technically, the action census is to count human beings.
Okay,
Phoebe, boy, you giving.
He has said a lot. Do you agree to what he has said, all or not, or everything? What's your response to what he has said?
I dispute to everything he has said in its entirety, and I put him to strict proof. When Statistics launched the Statistics Night on the 1st of December 2025, the statistician did on record that amidst all political parties, he will give special credit to the All People's Congress for the setting up of a technical committee to monitor. It's his on record. So for telling us here publicly that it's capacity problem, I don't want to attack his personality, but it's not true. The second point I am going to put him on strict proof is this, that since on the 25th of July 2025, the pilot census, nothing has been provided for it. It's report. You know what the pilot census is? It's like testing a questionnaire. To come in to tell the public that we have tested. These are the challenges. These are the positives. This is how we intend to address it. No report. I don't know whether you have it, but the APC
But before the report, he said...
So the July 24th...
Hold on, Mambu,
please, you were talking and didn't say.
Before the report, before we get to the part of the report, he said you were called to a 2-day session where the regions that were selected, they were justified why those regions were chosen. Do you remember the APC being a part of this?
It was not like that.
So what do you recall it to have been like?
What statistic did was, in as much, if let me say this is why I told you clearly, his story is ill-informed. At the advisory committee for which I attended at Brookfield, I am on record. In fact, The photo you used on the flyer.
No, you refer you to July 24, 25.
Allow me.
Okay, so it's not the New Brookfield Hotel meeting. So it's a different meeting. But still, what's your recollection?
The picture you used on the flyer where I'm holding that mic, it was at New Brookfield Hotel, where I was posing a question to Statistics Sierra Leone that now that we are embarking on this pilot census in July 2025, how did you arrive at selecting 4 districts?
What did they say?
They said they did not countenance the Northwestern region because they did not have anything that has to do with the Northwestern region.
That's not true.
Mambo.
That's not true.
This is not how it is done.
Please, you were not interrupted when you were utilizing your few minutes there. Allow him to make his point.
They said the Northwestern region was not captured. And so they are going to test. They say, in fact, this is just a testing of questionnaire.
They gave you reasons.
Mambo,
the reasons are here.
Mambo,
my goodness.
Mambo, please be a gentleman. You were not interrupted when you made those submissions, even though he had a different opinion. Respect is reciprocal. Please, gentlemen. Thank you. AKK, you were saying.
And thus, we agreed. Because, in fact, our submission at the advisory committee was, you cannot have 5 regions and you test the questionnaire at 4 regions, omitting the 5th region. They said, no, let us not take this too serious. But after the testing of the questionnaire, the report we are going to come back with, we are going to furnish that to political parties. As of this point, let me say this again, I'm on record. The APC hasn't got a report from the pilot census. I don't know whether the SLPP has it, but we don't have it. That is one. And so the APC is asking, where are the results from the pilot census? That's our first question. Number 2, that the entirety of what statistics is doing now is now deeply shrouded by secrecy. And so, one thing the APC is saying, the whole activity of Statistics Sierra Leone should not be born in secrecy. It should be transparent and open, because they are yearning for an output report, wherein at the end of the day, it will have what we call universal acceptability. Trust should be born out of the entirety of the process, so that the data that will be born out of that particular process will be generally accepted. But now the entirety of Statistics Sierra Leone is born by secrecy. What do I mean by this? After the first phase, and that is why I'm putting again Mambu on the spotlight, that he has said here on record that the whole cartographic mapping now is on the 3rd phase. Now, after the first phase, Phoebe, and put this on record, after the first phase, we called Statistics Sierra Leone. That we told them that we have realized so many anomalies that, in fact, even the enumerators they sent, the data and the machines they were using, to some extent, those that were sent in the north and northwest were faulty.
What was the response?
Correct. They called us, there's a letter wherein they called us to their office at, where do you call this place? Kona Lodge. We went to that meeting. And we are on record again. I was hosted there on Good Morning Salon again, wherein the Statistician General was in the office and he said he is going to furnish us with a comprehensive report of the first phase.
Did you get that?
Up to this moment, we don't have it. Now, it is only a news to us now as APC, as a political party, that Mambu here from the SLPP is telling us that indeed they are now on the 3rd phase. With the APC,
so he says the information is given to you guys during the meetings. Do you receive the information? Do you receive hard and soft copies of the data from
This is where
statistics?
I am coming now. Mayor Yvonne Akisoya, on the 2nd December 2026, in a World Bank program.
It can't be 2026.
No,
you are still in March.
Yes, 2025, 3rd December 2025. Whilst we were at Brookfield Hotel, Mayor Akisoya asked that this presentation that has been presented to us by this Nigerian expert, can we have a copy of it? On record, the Statistician General says they don't have a hard copy of it. And so they are going to furnish political parties with that particular breakdown of that particular report. As I'm talking to you onto this moment, we don't have a copy of it. And again, what is very fundamental about it was the report and the press briefing was not complete in its entirety. And then they said there are certain technicalities that need to sit us and our experts, including Mr. Peter Bangura, Dr. Kelfara Mara, Yvonne Akisoya, and my humble self, that they are provoking us to go to their office at Kona Lodge so that they can give us the report and tell us exactly what are these statistical inconsistencies, i.e. for Popujon in particular, that in the first phase they have almost completed 90% of the workload. Whereas in the northwest and northern region, some places it's only 20%, 15%, and 7%. And most significantly in the western area, no work was started in the western area.
So Statistics Sierra Leone does not conduct census alone entirely. They also have, as Mambu said, the technical committee. It does involve some international partners. Have you raised these concerns with the international partners?
We have, in fact, there is the public domain. And anytime we raise these issues, we call the Statistician General. He will call us to a meeting.
What response are you getting from the international partners?
They are hell-bent on making sure that they say, let us monitor this event to the latter. In fact, what is now very pressing, as of the current letter we've written to Statistics Sierra Leone, is with regards to the deployment of enumerators. What is very painful here is this, Phoebe, and let this be on record again. Enumerators from Statistics Sierra Leone that are posted to Karine and Falaba are not funded and supported as those enumerators that are sent in Pujong, Kenema, and Kailao. They are underfunded. And don't forget that these areas in Karine and Falaba are hard to get areas or hard to reach areas. They are so underfunded that these people are now currently seated there communicating to statistics that the fund you gave us is not as equal to others in the south and southeast. And now we are constrained. You know what the APC is doing? We are providing bikes for these people to walk on a daily basis. To tell you we are on top of situation, we are monitoring the entire system, but statistics is doing everything in a clouded system.
All right, gentlemen, I'll come to you. Just quickly, let's go to Studio 2 and join one of my producers, Emmanuel Nyake Momo, to read out some of the messages we've received from our Facebook and YouTube pages. Good evening, Nyake. Please read out a few of those messages.
With the messages for tonight, Tijan Sheku says, from the look of things, APC wants everything to be done in their interest. Most Steve says APC and SLPP are the main problem to the very country we claim to rule. Abu Kabu says, if political parties we are not part of the process, how would you have known about the challenges that are highlighted? We take this last message from Most Steve again. It says, too sad for my father's land that we have found ourselves in a country where there is no trust between the two political parties of the land. I wish one day we will have someone to take us out of this bondage. We end with that prayer therefore. Mostly.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel Nyake Momo, for reading out a few of those messages. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to go around with everyone for closing courtesies, and that is going to be a max 30 to 40 seconds. I'll end with the two political parties. I'll start with the civil society people. Let's start with Alfonso's on Zoom. Alfonso's, your closing courtesies, your parting submission.
My submission is that thanks to AYV for this opportunity for us to discuss the current situation of statistics. And I've noted a number of issues raised by AKK and even Mambu and my colleague Lama Jallo out there also, which we are going to use to engage statistics. I think the discussion will not end here. And I'm pretty sure after the 26th of March, in April, people will get information from the Human Rights Defenders Network in regards the conduct and performance of Statistics Sierra Leone in this entire process to date. That is my commitment, and that's what we do, taking this whole process forward on the issue of the pilots or cartographic mapping being done by Census. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for respecting the time limit. Yes, Lamgana.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Please
again.
follow that cue on the timing.
So if I can reiterate, I think I wouldn't have advised the APC to pull out in the 2021 election, but they had very good reasons, and it was validated by the World Bank. They also pulled out because it was not timely, and also the way they actually wanted to conduct it was not accurate. So APC pulling out, I think it made a lot of sense. So Mambu, I want you to get that. And then the second thing to validate on my submission that it seems like what is going on is a dramaturgy. The Statistics Sierra Leone already had what they want to do without notice to the public. Because if you've done phase 1, phase 2, we are not having like publishing disaggregated data given to the public, and civil society organizations and political stakeholders are not fully engaged. You have one political
What
party.
are you calling on the Statistics Sierra Leone to do right
They
now?
have to call both political parties and all political parties that are involved for them to be fully involved.
Is this only about the political political parties? What about the people of Sierra Leone?
Because they are the how can I say, like the lead majority of the people of Sierra Leone.
All right.
So if the APC, the SLPP and others, they have...
would not be able to give you more time to make more submissions. I'm sorry about that. Mambo, your parting courtesies.
I want the public to understand that the census process is moving on. And as a political party, SLPP, and also APC, we are part of the advisory committee of the census process. Informations are being given during meetings of those census process. We are and will continue to monitor the cartographic mapping process. We monitor fully all the other processes of census. We have a standby and ready to go team across the country. We are continuing to talk to our people, our supporters and Sierra Leoneans. And we also want Sierra Leoneans to note that census process is not for political reasons. Census process planned the now, the tomorrow, and the day after.
So far, is the SLPP satisfied
with the
process so far?
For us at the SLPP, we are satisfied with the process so far. We will continue to ask questions, raise concerns where we have issues, and we do have issues. And we do raise those issues with Statistics Sierra Leone. But I want the public to understand that we all need to put trust in the institutions that we have. Discrediting institutions cannot solve problems.
I'll not be able to give you more time on that. Yes, AKK, your parting courtesies.
The APC continues to make sure that we participate and continue to tell Sierra Leoneans that this is a national event and we should be part of it. However, the APC continues to call on statistics to become more transparent, more inclusive and open-minded. And
how do you expect them to do that? What should they do that will translate into what you're calling on them to do?
By our agreement, that for every phase of their work, they have what we call, what Lamara was postulating, that they have what we call a press briefing where they tell people exactly what they have done on phase 1, how exactly the EAs were carved, how enumeration areas have been carved, how exactly everything has been done before moving to the next phase. That was what was agreed on in the advisory committee, but they have departed from same. And when the APC continues to ask questions, no report is given. And so now we are beginning to notice that secrecy has taken over the entire process. And so any system that is built on secrecy, it has the tendency of distrust. And so we are asking Statistics Sierra Leone that huge chunk of money is being invested into this process by both our taxpayers' money and donor money. So we don't want a situation where at the end of the day, the end product cannot have what we call that universal acceptability.
Just quickly, is the APC encouraging its members and supporters to cooperate with the process so far?
Yes, Phoebe. Right. Yes, we are very cooperative and we have been in that process since the inception of this entire process.
Gentlemen, well, thank you very much for your time. It's about time we end today's edition of AYV on Sunday. This is where we draw the curtains in today's edition of AYV on Sunday. Panel this evening, I had Lamrana A. Jallo, governance and policy analyst and advocate from the United States. I had lawyer Abdul Karim Kamara, member of Publicity Secretariat, All People's Congress, main opposition. I've had Moses Mambu, publicity secretary of the Sierra Leone People's Party, and online via Zoom we had Alfonso Bani from civil society. He's a civil society activist. We were supposed to have Abdullahi Salia Brahima, Director, Censuses Geographic Information System, and the National Census Coordinator from Statistics Sierra Leone, but Statistics Sierra Leone declined a few hours to the program, during the early hours of today, on the grounds that the institution cannot discuss such a topic with political party representatives in the studio. But of course, nothing spoiled. We had the conversation successfully. Thanks to my producers, Emmanuel Nyakemomo and Ransford McLean, our entire production unit, the graphics editor, Joshua Steady Bangura, and his entire team, the AYV on Sunday technical and graphical crew. Thanks to Barry from ICT, Bonton Wright as well from ICT.
How to buy data with AfriMoney on my AfriCell app. Click on the AfriMoney icon and enter your PIN to sign in. Click on the Buy Data Bundles icon. Click on Data Bundles. Click on the data bundle option you wish to buy. Select Proceed. Select the self and main options as shown on your screen. Select Proceed. Enter your PIN and select Proceed again. You will receive a confirmation message of your data purchase.